It's Tuesday and I just got paid. New gadget, new brunch spot, new subscription, and it's gone. When it comes to payday, it's hard to know what to do with your money. So today I'm going to guide you step by step through my automated money system in just a few easy steps. As a banker and someone that has helped many friends through this process, I hope this video is a good resource for you. Starting with step number 1, we need to understand your financial baseline or your necessities. These are the costs that you just can't live without. This includes housing like rent or a mortgage, food, insurance, utilities, transportation, basically anything you need to live on a monthly basis. Now, if you live in an expensive city like Auckland or Sydney, this might be as high as 60% of your paycheck. If this number is higher than 70%, you should look for other ways to grow your income or reduce the cost of your necessities. What's important here is to find a number that works for you and to stick to it every single pay cycle. So print out your bank statements or use a spreadsheet to dive into how much you need to spend on necessities every time you're paid. Once you have that figure, that's it. Stick to this amount every time you're paid, as that will give you a great foundation for our next step. Once you've covered the essentials, you must set aside money for your financial security. Some call this a rainy day fund, others call it an emergency fund. Now, whatever you call it, this is the money set aside for when things don't go your way. Murphy's Law is a concept that says if something can go wrong, it usually does. In such cases, this money is set aside for that. This could include car repairs, job loss, a health emergency, you need a new refrigerator. These are situations where if you didn't have the savings set aside, you'd probably have to use credit. Now, most financial experts recommend setting aside 3 to 6 months of expenses to cover these cases. So use your bank statements again, multiply these costs by 3 months. This will tell you the minimum amount that you need to stash away in an emergency fund. Every time you are paid, make sure to allocate a portion of this, maybe 10% to start, into this account. You never know when you'll need it. So we've got our essentials covered and set aside some emergency savings. The next step is to start paying down your high-interest debt. Nearly 7 in 10 Kiwis have some form of debt, and in Gen Y this jumps to nearly 8 in 10. This is something we've all come to accept is just a part of life. Maybe we bought branded clothes that we just didn't need, or purchased Harvey Norman furniture when we could have used Trade Me. The biggest issue with debt is it strangles your income. It takes money away from saving and investing and moves it towards credit card interest or car repayments. Paying down high-interest debt will save you hundreds, maybe even thousands every single month that could otherwise have stayed in your wallet in a savings account. I often get the question, and maybe you're wondering as well, whether it's better to invest or pay down debt. Let's take a simple example. ANZ's Simple Air Points credit card currently charges an interest rate of 20.95%. On the other hand, unless we picked our investments extremely well, it is highly unlikely we could consistently beat this by investing. Paying down debt is A, risk-free, and B, really simple and easy to do. In my experience working in insurance, banking, and investing a billionaire's money in Singapore, no good comes from complexity when it comes to personal finance. Keeping it as simple as possible is usually the best outcome, unless you spend all day every day doing this stuff, which even I don't. A tool I really enjoy using to keep on top of my transactions and debt repayments is WeMoney, and honestly, it's a bit of a game changer. It connects to your bank accounts, credit cards, even your super, all in one dashboard so you see your full financial picture. I have a relationship with ANZ, ASB, Milford, and American Express, so having everything in one place is a huge plus for me. The debt tracker is one of my favorite tools as it lists out all of my active debt and the transactions that are adding or subtracting from my balances. Nothing feels better than seeing your debt go down, and for me at least, it motivates me to knock it off faster. Now, if you're struggling with multiple debts like juggling a few credit cards or personal loans, WeMoney can also help you consolidate them into one simple repayment. Using Match, the app uses AI to match you with loan offers that you're more likely to be approved for. This helps you find a better rate or simplify repayments without hurting your credit score. WeMoney also gives you a clearer picture of where your money's actually going by automatically categorizing your transactions. This helps detect leaks or things you can cut back on, like eating out in my case. Whatever your goal is, whether it's budgeting smarter, paying off debt faster, or saving for something big, WeMoney gives you the tools to get there. With over 1.35 million users across both New Zealand and Australia, I've really enjoyed using the app and engaging with the community there as well. So check out WeMoney today using my link down below and in the video description, and start taking charge of your money today. The next payday routine is to set some money aside for long-term goals. If you're planning a wedding, looking to travel overseas, or buy a new car, the amounts can seem at first glance unobtainable. However, if we break the amount down into small chunks, these saving goals aren't actually so bad. Let's say, for example, you want to travel to Japan with your partner in a year's time. Flights will cost you $3,000, accommodation another $3,000, and you expect to spend about $4,000 trying all the yum food and shopping at the 13-story Uniqlo. 10 grand is a hell of a lot of money, but if you're paid fortnightly, that's just $385 a fortnight, which might be a lot more realistic. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, so setting a savings goal and breaking it down into small manageable chunks will ensure you make it happen. If you pick your savings account right, you might even earn some interest that will make the goal even more attainable. This extra interest can go a long way. Perhaps it buys you an extra couple meals. Every bit counts. So with your savings underway, only now does it make sense to start investing with your excess paycheck. When it comes to investing, most people think of loud trading floors and suits at computers, but apart from what you saw in Wolf of Wall Street, investing doesn't need to be hard at all. The basics of investing are actually quite easy, and if you master them, you can make millions in your lifetime. Albert Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." Going way back, the American stock market has averaged about a 10% return per year, meaning your money essentially doubles every 7 or 8 years without you needing to do anything due to this idea of compounding. If you invest $200 every fortnight from 25 to 65 years old with an annual return of 10%, you'd end up with a total of over $2.5 million. If instead you put that money into a savings account earning just 1% interest, you'd have over 10 times less at just $235,000. That difference is huge, and it could absolutely change your life. The reason I left investing so late in this video is because you should only invest what you can afford to lose. Your necessities, your emergency fund, and paying down high-interest debt is of course way more important. Only once that's taken care of should you go anywhere near investing. Now, we're not saying here that we expect to lose everything, we're just being overly cautious. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I like to keep things as simple as possible when it comes to finance. I'm not watching the stock market 24/7, and I don't want to. So I always keep things really simple in 2 ways. 1. Low-cost index funds, and 2. Dollar-cost averaging. An index fund is basically just a basket of hundreds, even thousands of shares. These shares are in companies all across the world, operating in different industries, different countries, and they're highly uncorrelated. So no matter what the economy is doing, my money is spread widely and I don't have to actively buy or sell anything. In a bad economy, grocery and utility companies are still doing well as people will continue buying their products and services. And in the good economy, people will want the latest gadgets, so companies like Apple and Amazon do well. With low fees and low complexity, and even tax advantages like PI funds in New Zealand, these work well for me. Every payday I have $200 sent to Colonel and $50 to Goldie. This allows me to buy index funds and units of gold and silver automatically with no effort. And that leads perfectly into our final step to automate your money. Dollar cost averaging is a big part of this. Usually, when you get paid, the first temptation is to spend. Now, we don't want that, and this approach tackles this. What I love about this is how simple every action is. You get paid into your everyday account, and from there, your money gets assigned automatically to go exactly where it needs to go. Say we're paid $2,000, maybe $1,000 goes towards necessities like rent and groceries, $200 goes towards an emergency fund, $500 towards debt repayments, $100 towards a dream holiday, and the remaining $200 can go towards entertainment and all the fun stuff in life. Many banks allow you to create sub-accounts, and basically when we're paid, we can set up automatic transfers to send money to the relevant sub-account. For debt, I'd try sending the money straight to the debt account, rather than a sub-account if they allow that. With automatic transfers, we're unlikely to overspend in one area like entertainment because we'd have to manually move the money out of our emergency fund and into that account to spend it. we'd feel horrible and guilty, so we're likely to keep to our budget naturally. Stage 2 is once your emergency fund is large enough to fund 3 to 6 months of expenses and all of the high interest debt is repaid, we can then set up a transfer to our investing accounts. This is the stage that I'm at, and it's working really well for me. My mortgage money is set aside, my emergency fund is full, my credit card balance is not interest bearing, so I have my transfers set up to invest. WeMoney is a great tool to budget your money better, tackle debt faster, and save for your longer term goals. If you'd like to check them out, make sure to use my code down below. If you found this video useful, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a future upload. Also make sure to hit the like button or share this video if someone you know could benefit from the tips in this video. These 2 videos here are a great resource too if you want to learn more ways to tackle debt and grow your wealth. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to catching you on the next one. Cheers.